Hello everyone, this is your host, your friend, your boy, Jet Black, the one and only, here with another exciting video, and in this video I'm going to be doing some AI Dungeon 2. This is another episode of Ultimate Volition. Ultimate Volition is a superpower battle tournament in which fighters face off against each other using their three superpowers. Each fighter has an offensive power for dealing damage, a defensive power for defending themselves against taking damage, and a special ability or trump card that they're able to use in order to help get themselves out of a sticky situation. They're able to use all three of their powers as much as they want, and the goal is to kill all of your opponents so that you can make a wish, and that wish can be whatever you want. For these Ultimate Volition Tournament episodes that I'm doing, today specifically, I am using characters that were suggested by viewers like you on the Discord. Shout out to the fans on Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord group yet, I highly recommend that you do so. There's a link in the description box down below. So the two fighters in today's Ultimate Volition videos are Maximus the Golden and Repugnance. Both of these characters were created by fans. In this video, I'm going to be playing as Maximus the Golden, and I'll be facing off against Repugnance. And then in the next Ultimate Volition video that I'm going to do today, I'm going to be playing as Repugnance and facing off against Maximus the Golden. That way you guys are able to see the same fight from two different perspectives, with me controlling different characters and doing different things as each character. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. If you guys would like to submit characters for me to play as and play against in the future for future Ultimate Volition videos, definitely leave your character ideas in the comment section below. And on the Discord, I just need to know the character's name, what their three powers are, and why they're fighting in the Ultimate Volition tournament. And also give me a description of what they look like. And try and keep it to 6 sentences or less, because I put all that information into the world info on AI Dungeon 2, and the AI Dungeon 2 world info can only hold so much information. Now, the way that I'm going to start this out, I'm going to read this blurb at the beginning, and then I'm going to start the 30-minute timer, and my goal will be to try and defeat Repugnance while playing as Maximus the Golden in the Ultimate Volition tournament. So without further ado, let's start off by reading this blurb. You are Maximus the Golden. You have the ability to transform your skin into iron, the ability to run at super speed, and the ability to transform into a raging monster. You are extremely greedy, and you want to win the Ultimate Volition tournament to wish for infinite wealth. You wear gold armor, you are extremely wealthy, and you have a scar over your left eye. You are facing off against Repugnance in the Ultimate Volition tournament. Repugnance has the ability to project and manipulate veins out of his arms that he can use as webs to restrain opponents, lasso objects, or use as a grappling hook. Repugnance has the ability to summon force fields of energy to protect himself from attacks. Repugnance has the ability to manipulate the beliefs of others. Repugnance looks like a beaten, tattered, and cut up peasant. Repugnance wants to win the Ultimate Volition tournament in order to make a name for himself. You and Repugnance enter the Ultimate Volition tournament arena. The announcer says, "Let the battle begin." And as the announcer says that, I'm going to start the 30-minute timer. I do think it's interesting that these two characters were created by two different individuals, but they have like a rags versus riches mentality when faced off against each other. Because the people who suggested these characters didn't know that they'd be fighting one another. So I think that's a cool coincidence. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to transform into a raging monster and try to slam Repugnance face first into the arena floor. You are trying to crush Repugnance's skull so that you can win the fight as fast as possible. You can't wait to claim the grand prize, as your greed has consumed every aspect of your life. You feel as if the only way to defeat your greed is to become infinitely wealthy. See, Maximus the Golden has no desire to have like a cool fight or to see his opponent's amazing special abilities. He just wants to get his bag. He wants to win and get infinite wealth. So he's going to try to go for his best move immediately. You turn into a raging monster and slam Repugnance's face first into the arena floor. Oh, sorry. And slam Repugnance's face. Oh, I didn't say Repugnance's face with an apostrophe S. So it just says Repugnance face. So it keeps throwing me every time you read it. You turn into a raging monster and slam Repugnance's face first into the arena floor. Oh, I know why I didn't put the apostrophe S. I'm reading it weird, but I wrote it fine. You turn into a raging monster and slam Repugnance face first into the arena floor. You then grab both of his arms and break them so he can't attack you with them. You then decapitate and eviscerate Repugnance, killing him instantly. Oh my goodness. I mean, that makes sense. You just go hard. That seems unsatisfying, though. I mean, this is what you would want, though. Like, if you were Repugnance, if you were Maximus the Golden, this is exactly what you'd want. You'd want to just, like, go in and whoop his ass. But the fact that Repugnance put up no fight at all, I'm not just going to end it there. We're going to retry it and maybe hope that we don't definitively kill him. You managed to pick up Repugnance. You managed to pick Repugnance up and slam him face first into the ground, but he catches himself with a force field and uses his veins to smash you over the head and send you sprawling across the ground. Repugnance shoots several webs at your armor, pinning you to the ground. Okay, cool. So I like that when we retried it, it allowed Repugnance to actually use his abilities in order to, I guess try and get the upper hand back. I noticed that he used 2 out of his 3 powers, but he didn't use his belief inducement. I like how he's able to protect himself by using his force field so he doesn't just hit the ground face first, and how he's able to use his veins to slam us over the head. His veins must be like thick whips for him to be able to do something like that. And then for it to not only slam me over the head, but then to hit me like across the ground. And I like how he then webbed me to the ground. It makes me think of like a Spider-Man thing. So now I'm going to attempt to use my monstrous strength to free myself from Repugnance's webs and to perform a monster roar strong enough to knock Repugnance into a nearby wall with incredible force. When you just can't spell any words. How did I spell incredible and leave out a D and add an extra I? Let's see. There we go. So yeah, I'm going to try to break out of his webs with my monster strength and roar so loud that it knocks Repugnance away. You manage to pull off a roar so loud that it knocks down Repugnance, allowing you enough time to pull out of the webs and get out of his range. You begin to pummel him with your claws, scratching an eye so badly that it turns purple and swells shut. So it says, and get out of his range, but I don't see how we would be getting out of his range if we're close enough to pummel him. So it should be allowing you enough time to pull yourself out of the webs. Yeah. Well, I guess pull yourself out of the webs that were restraining you. I mean, I guess that's not needed to say. Like, I don't need to say that. I can just stop there. It's cool that we gave him like a purple eye or whatever. I guess that's just a black eye from us like scratching his eye. But I noticed AI Dungeon doesn't always like list body damage during a fight like that. Like, if I cut off somebody's arm, of course it'll be like, oh, you cut off his arm. Or if I, like, bash somebody's skull, and it'll be like, oh, their skull broke open. But something as simple as a black eye normally doesn't happen in AI Dungeon 2. So that's interesting. I like that. Let's see. So It seems like we've got the upper hand again, so I'm going to attempt to rip Repugnance's skull in half with your monstrous claws. Let's go. Let's go. Again, this seems like it'll be too fast. Like, being able to turn into a rage monster feels like multiple powers already. You rip Repugnance's head off, which lets out a final scream as you toss it in the air and let out a roar to celebrate your easy victory. The announcer declares you the winner, and you receive the grand prize, a wish. So again, this just seems too soon. Like, I guess it makes sense. Repugnance isn't using his ability to like manipulate my beliefs, and he also seems to, whenever I do kill him, fail to summon his force field. Like, he's just not defending himself. He's getting like caught up and beat down. That being said, Maximus the Golden does have super speed, so it kind of makes sense that he would just rush in really fast as a monster and then just whoop Repugnance. But let's retry it again to see if we can like fail. So I retried it. You manage to tear Repugnance's head from his body. His headless body falls over and begins to convulse on the arena floor. Blood pours out of his neck as his body spasms uncontrollably and his head rolls on the ground. So that time we killed him again. Let's retry again. Your claws dig into Repugnance's flesh, but they don't tear through his skull. Instead, you catch a blow to the head that causes your nose to start bleeding. Interesting. So it's like you dig into his flesh with your claws, and then he's still like hitting you. He's like, not today, like not right now. Okay, cool. So he's fighting back. You attempt to throw Repugnance into the air, jump up into the air, and land as hard as you can on Repugnance's back as he falls back to the ground. You yell, "Demonic Slam! Meteor style!" Oh wait, hold on. Demonic Slam! Apocalypse Meteor style! You gotta go in with the full anime attack name. Speaking of someone not using all their powers, I haven't transformed my skin into iron. Your jump is powerful enough to smash through Repugnance's force field, and you crash down upon him with enough force to break his bones. His screams of agony are cut short by your foot pressing against his neck. I like how the judge said, "Holy crap, you killed Repugnance with a move that was so over the top is actually funny. Points awarded for style, you gained 3 points." I'm glad that you appreciated it. To be honest, while this is like a really quick win, I can't help but love it. I like that the AI was like, you threw Repugnance into the air, sure, but Repugnance isn't going to just fly up into the air without summoning like his force field. But I also like that it's like, your jump was so strong that even though he used his force field to try and protect himself from hitting the ground, you still shattered through the force field and like crush his body. And then I imagine like a Mortal Kombat like X-ray, like you see like his bones like crack and shatter, and then you hear like his screams of agony, but then you like jam your foot against his neck. It reminds me of like a Mortal Kombat fatality that like Goro would do, the guy who has like the big arms or whatever, like the 4 big arms. That's wild. Still a little too early. If I check the timer's 19 minutes. So I gotta give him another try. I'm gonna retry to see if we can like fail. You pick up Repugnance and jump into the air. You raise your fist ready to strike, but Repugnance creates a force field to block the attack. He slams you into the force field and you bounce off of it, dazed and confused. Interesting. So it's like I raise him into the air and jump, which is interesting because the way that I wanted to do it before was throw him into the air and jump. But they're like, you grab him and then you jump. So I guess I was going to throw him down and then land on him, which is more over the top, I think, than what I did before. So I pick him up and I jump into the air. And then it says you raise your fist to strike. Hold on. So I would have picked him up, jumped, and then while he's over my head, been like, bah, bah, like I was gonna punch him while he's above me. That's even more over the top. That's like an air combo in a fighting game. But it's like as I raise my fist to strike him, while I'm either holding him with one hand or I've let go of him to hit him while we fall back to the ground, he creates a force field to block the attack, which causes me to slam into the force field and then bounce off of it, I imagine, back into the ground, so back into the arena floor, and I'm dazed and confused. So that's interesting. He used it as like a counter to my air combo. So you attempt to, I guess you attempt to recover from Repugnance's shield counter after bouncing against the arena floor. You are surprised by how quickly Repugnance is able to summon his force fields. You decide that you need to tap into your super speed if you want to outrace Repugnance's shield abilities. You race at Repugnance as fast as you can. You hope that your monster strength combined with your incredible speed will be enough to punch through Repugnance's shield and obliterate Repugnance. This only goes to show that when I play as Repugnance, this fight might be kind of difficult. Because your boy Maximus Golden is pretty strong. Excuse me. You run straight at Repugnance and bash through his force field. You smash your body into him, sending his broken body into the wall, destroying it. You don't stop running, though. The force of your attack sends you flying into the wall as well. Wow, so that's interesting. So I smashed into his body running at full force, and it breaks his body, which causes him to smash into a wall, which destroys the wall. But then I don't stop running. I also run through the destroyed wall. That's maximum damage right there. Okay. So, you turn around and attempt to grab Repugnance's broken body by the head. You would, and scream so loud and with so much force, yeah, I'm phrasing it weirdly. So you turn around and attempt to grab Repugnance's broken body by the head and roar as loud as you can. You are hoping to roar so loudly that it peels the flesh off of Repugnance's broken body. You fly at Repugnance and grab him by the head. You roar as loud as you can, but it just smashes your face into the wall. Blood drips down your broken nose, You feel blood dripping down your face, but you also feel a sense of satisfaction. Huh. Interesting. You realize that the force of your roar propelled you backwards and into the partially destroyed arena wall. You attempt to throw Repugnance's broken body straight up into the air and slice it in half with your monstrous claws as his body falls back down. So right now I'm trying to do like crazy fatality stuff. When I did that backbreaker thing, I was like, that was really cool. So I just keep trying to do that. You grab Repugnance and throw him straight up into the air as hard as you can. He slams into the arena ceiling. Oh my gosh. So that's the first moment where I see like another Mortal Kombat X-ray kind of thing, except his bones were already broken, so now they're just like powder. Then falls back towards the ground, right into your outstretched claws. You slice him in half, destroying Repugnance's body. Oh my gosh. I feel like what I was trying to do was already really bad. But then when he crushes against the ceiling of the arena, it's even worse. That's amazing. I still have 11 minutes left. Repugnance. I'm going to retry. Repugnance, survive it so the fight can keep going. You roar with all your might, throwing Repugnance's broken body into the air. You leap up through the air and land on the tip of a broken piece of wall. It collapses under your weight, and you fall through it. What? So for one, when it said you roar with all your might, throwing Repugnance's broken body into the air, it makes me think that I did like a Black Canary kind of roar, where like the roar is what shot him into the air. Like I threw him into the air with the roar. And then when it says you leap up through the air, it makes it seem like I'm chasing after him. So again, like an air combo starter. For real, if someone knows how to make a fighting game using like Mugen or something and can make their own sprites, I'd love to see these Ultimate Volition battles done as like a sprite animation or made into like a game that you could actually play as a fighting game. That would be amazing. We got launchers and air combos in this one. You leap up through the air, and then it's like you land on a tip of a broken piece of wall and it collapses under your weight. Why would I do that? Like, it sounded cool until it was like, but then you don't try to just slice the dude. Like, why would I jump in the air? What would be the point? How's the AI doing? The AI is doing pretty good. Repugnance just keeps dying really fast. Okay, retry. You pick up Repugnance's broken body and throw it straight up into the air. But as you try to run forward and slice him in half, you smash your feet into the ground. You realize too late that the ground is covered in webs. Do-do-do-do. My brain suddenly was like, what? Do-do-do-do. Repugnance. You realize that Repugnance has been placing web traps around the arena floor the entire time. You were surprised that you somehow didn't notice this before. You are tangled in Repugnance's webs. You have no idea how Repugnance... I spelled his name wrong. How Repugnance was able to accomplish such a feat without you knowing, while you were bashing him with your incredible attacks. You You say, impossible. How could a rag-wearing peasant like you come up with such a trick? And how do you expect to defeat me with your body broken to bits? Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. I have to admit, that's one of the most anime moments of this whole fight. Is the concept of, like, you think you have the upper hand. Whoa, whoa. And then suddenly something crazy happens. Oh shit, did you guys see that? The webs suddenly explode and you feel 1,000 pinprick bites all over your body. You look down and realize that the entire floor is covered in tiny red spider eggs. The eggshells are nearly impossible to see, and you only notice them because you're down on the floor. Oh shit. What? You realize that the web veins of Repugnance are actually full of spider eggs? You can't believe it. You attempt to knock all the spiders off of your body by clapping your hands using your monster strength to create a powerful shockwave. That is absolutely incredible. When it said the webs explode, I was like, oh, I'm done. You took an anime mode, you turned it up to 11. And then when it was like, it's filled with spiders. Oh my gosh. Wow. You clap your hands together using all your strength. You create a massive shockwave that rips through the air. You can feel it ringing in your ears from the force of your clap. Okay, let's see. You race over to Repugnance and attempt to kick straight through his body. You yell, "How dare you cover Maximus the Golden with more insects like yourself? I have no time for vermin." Ooh, and then I'm gonna yell, "Demonic technique, bug stomper." Because you guys have to keep in mind, Maximus the Golden is like an elitist. He's super greedy. He's all about trying to attain wealth, and he's fighting this person that he sees as below him, a peasant wearing rags. Maximus not only is trying to fight in order to earn that wish so that he's able to become infinitely wealthy and try and resist his greed, or I guess to appease his greed, but he also believes in like his title and what his wealth means. You kick for it with all your might, but as you do, you realize that there are tiny spiders everywhere. You can't escape their pinprick bites no matter what you do. You kick Repugnance's body, but his dead weight is unmoved. Wait. You thought that you had gotten the spiders off of you when you completed your shockwave clap. But there are just too many to shake off. You realize that you can't focus on the spiders right now. You need to focus on taking down Repugnance once and for all. You hope that if you kill Repugnance, that the spiders will all die as well. You transform your skin into metal and punch Repugnance's head as hard as you can. you yell, I am familiar with gold, but you peasants may know iron better. Iron Hammer Devil Fist. Your fist slams into Repugnance's face, and you can hear his skull crushing inwards as it smashes out of shape. You begin to pull your fist back out, but the hard iron fists jerk against your arm, tearing skin off the bone. That doesn't make sense. Because my whole body is made of iron. Yeah, like it's like all the skin is iron. Are you saying that the iron skin got like ripped by bone? Like bone shards in the skull? Because that doesn't make sense. I'm going to get rid of that part. Because that part to me doesn't make any sense. Also, now the fight has some good length to it. You know what I mean? And we only have 2 minutes left, so I'm going to say, announcer, Repugnance is clearly dead. Announce me as the winner of the Ultimate Volition Tournament. You grin and chuckle. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see how this goes. The announcer says, "Ah, what a twist! The tournament has been won by the youthful Iron Gut. What a surprising turn of events." Repugnance's body falls to the ground, limp and dead. Repugnance, who I threw up into the air, who then landed back down in his own webs, whose body was broken, was still standing when I slammed my fist into his face and caved in his skull, and he didn't fall to the ground until after he was announced the loser? Holy shit. Imagine seeing someone who's still standing get their face caved in by a punch from an iron-skinned monster. Okay. You wish for infinite wealth. This fight has had like some crazy moments, and I'm glad that I didn't take like the easy W and I just kept jumping back. There is a flash of gold, and all of a sudden you find yourself falling through space. You can see Phoenix far below you as it disappears into the distance. You can also see another planet in the distance ahead of you. Lots of planets actually, hundreds of them. You realize that all of these planets and all of their wealth is now yours. Okay, there we go. So that's our first Ultimate Volition episode of today. The next Ultimate Volition episode that I'm going to do is going to actually be the opposite. So it's going to be Repugnance versus Maximus the Golden. So I hope you guys are hyped for that. Definitely let me know if you're hyped in the comment section below and on our Discord. I'm going to try my best to get in a good fight, but as you can see, Maximus the Golden is extremely powerful, and I had to like revert multiple times to keep Maximus the Golden from just like insta-killing me. To keep Maximus the Golden from insta-killing Repugnance. As you can see, I'm already getting into the role of Repugnance and mistaking myself for him. But I'm excited to play through the opposite scenario. If you guys want to play this scenario, by the way, on my AI Dungeon 2 page, you guys can actually find the scenario. I've made it public, so you guys can do the fight of Maximus the Golden between Repugnance. Or you could do the reverse, because I've also already published that scenario as well. So if you do play it, definitely let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below and on our Discord. But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring the notification bell to be notified whenever we do these videos. So show from your boy, Jeff, like the one only, logging out. Peace, and stay tuned because I do AI Dungeon 2 videos daily. Check it out.